are the, when you guys think about owner relations, owner representatives, owner liaisons, right? There's a lot of different names that this job sort of, and it can go by. What are the daily responsibilities in your businesses? What owner relations person responsible for?
Well, I can speak to that. Daily, I do a lot of the communication with the owners. If they email, call, um, or, anything like that, I will be the one talking with them. We do have a panelist of, I guess a team that actually talks to owners as well, depending on what it is. If it's deals with reservations, there would be somebody different for that. But I'm the point contact, so a lot of what I do is develop relationships, and I think that's really what this is all about. Is you have to know your owner, and you have to know what kind of property that they actually have with you, whether it's an investment or whether it's a home that they're going to move into at retirement, or whatever. So you learn how to communicate and develop relationships based on that. But that's basically what I'm doing all day long. Task wise, I do the newsletters too, to communicate with owners. But there's a lot of statements and things like that that I do. There's a lot of things, a lot of hats I wear, depending on what the owner needs.
Love it. How does that relate to how you guys are doing it, Sandie and Kevin?
For us, it's pretty much the same. I tend to be the direct contact for homeowners. We do have our reservation crew that help out in our maintenance. We have a maintenance coordinator that'll reach out to them if something needs to be done. But typically, any concerns, questions come to me. So I feel it's my job to really know my homeowners. We work in a area that people aren't buying investment homes. In Cannon Beach, you're only allowed to have one reservation per 14 days. These are people's secondary homes. They come, they enjoy their home still. They come and stay and love being here. So we have a bit of a different dynamic, and I feel it's my job to know exactly how these homeowners want to be communicated with. Some only want phone calls, some only want emails, some don't want to hear from me at all. Which ones want me to let them know if we change a light bulb, and which ones don't care unless something costs more than $1,000. So my job is to really build a solid relationship with the homeowner so I know the best way to respond and interact with them.
And to follow up and to complement what Sandie does, it really does begin with the onboarding of the property, right? Learning about who the owner is, setting a proper expectation, whether it's communications, time, resources, the best way to communicate with them. We're finding more and more of our professional owners want to be messaged via text messaging. And then, I think for us, because I don't think any owner wants to be left hanging, the primary duty really is to be attentive to their needs as far as phone calls and emails. So with us, it's a standard of you have to return a phone call the same day, or if it's after 3 or 4 o'clock, to call the next day. It's to answer all emails. Even if you don't have an answer, acknowledge their time and respect their time, because they reached out to at least acknowledge their call. Don't leave them hanging. And obviously, just like Heidi and Sandie said, it's visiting properties, it's knowing the properties, knowing the owners, reviewing work orders, reviewing statements, offering suggestions for capital improvements to make their properties more profitable and marketable, incentivizing them to give referrals of friends who might be, interested in, buying or owning a vacation rental property. It can be, I've often said our owner reps are the spoke of the wheel. Everything around the wheel, all of the spokes center around what they do. And it's probably the hardest, most demanding job that any property management company can have.
Absolutely. There's a couple of things that you guys all commented on that we're going to definitely touch on a little bit as we get into the meat and bones here of the presentation and conversation. I do want to share the results of the poll. So we got 76% participation. Thank you, everyone. And a lot of experience on this call, right? Over 75% of folks on here have been doing this for more than 2 years. So so this is great. And I think that matches well with the experience that that we have here on the panel as well. You know, when you sort of talk about like the difference in the expectation, the difference of the responsibilities of your team members, how does that impact the capacity of the number of homes that that your owner reps or Heidi yourself as an owner liaison that you guys can take on and manage in a good way? And while the panelists are adding this, while the panelists are addressing this, I am going to put up another poll, which is going to ask you guys how many properties individual owner reps are responsible for in your organization. So, but how does the number of the responsibility impact capacity for you guys?
Well, let me start by, for us, and I know every property management company and their duties for their owner reps are a little bit different, right? Some require their reps to, eat what they kill. So they're out looking for properties and they take them really from start to finish, and others don't. For us, we have we look at capacity management closely, and currently we have 75 properties per owner relations rep. Now, obviously, some owners might have multiple properties. Each property is an account, so each one is treated separately. So for us, it's 75. And they do, like I said, most everything. Now, ours don't take guest calls. All ours don't, deal with, with a lot of the things like maybe some of the other companies do. But for us, it's 75, and we feel that that's a good number, because we do have requirements about, the number of times that they visit properties. They do have to review statements. They do have to do invoices and purchase orders and review work orders and do pre-owner arrival inspection. So there's other extra things that our reps do. And at the same time, it's important for me that my team have a work-life balance. It's very easy in this space to feel like, you're on 24/7, or some of your owners may feel like you are their indentured servant, right? That you are at their beck and call, you are their personal assistant, and you should jump whenever they call or write or text you. And I really set a boundary, and I want my folks to set that boundary, that they do have work-life balance. They do have lives outside of the company that they work for. And with the number that we have and what we're asking them to do, that's a good number for us.
What about you guys? Is it similar?
For us, it seems to be ever changing. And we are learning as we grow. I am pitching to get a owner relations person, so then I can focus on different areas. So I am really lucky that the owners of the company are willing to listen and to understand the needs and the flexibility that we need to have in order to facilitate every aspect. So we are growing quickly and learning as we're growing.
Yeah, I agree with Sandie and Kevin. There's, times when we're not as busy as owner liaisons, or, in our business. And there's other times of a busy season, that we're really busy. There's a lot more going on. The slower times, it seems like we take on more projects. People want to work on their homes and, get them upgraded. But I agree. It's really tough. I don't do as many things as maybe Kevin. I think Kevin, your gals do more. Tell me again. They do a lot of their own inspections, don't they?
Well, they do. We task them to personally visit all of their properties at least once a month, to get eyes on there,
Right.
and to also perhaps video chat with owners while they're in their property, or at least call the owners and let them know, hey, I'm in your property. I want you to know it looks great. That work order that we just completed to repair or replace this is here. Here's a picture of it. So we do require that. And obviously pre-owner arrival inspections, we're not able to inspect pre-arrival for all guests, but we try to get in there. To me, knowing your property, knowing your owner, knowing the contracts, knowing all of the idiosyncrasies of that is vitally important for the success of any owner relations rep.
Right, and yeah, and that's what I do too. We have a team of people that do certain aspects that your team has to do, or someone else's team has to do themselves, or they have to do all themselves. So it's nice to kind of share the load, but at the same time, focusing on what we're there for, and that is the owner. And we have the owner's best interest at heart with their managing of their home and their income and what the guests say about it. I mean, there's all kinds of things.